is a cloudy, rainy day in Northern California. As you can see, there's no sun and it's raining a little bit. Not a lot, just a little bit. Um, Doing my routine. I do this pretty much Monday through Friday, except when things like my daughter is not feeling well, which is something that happened last week that kind of threw me off. And she's still not quite 100, so we'll see how it goes. But today, I don't know if you guys have been watching Meghan Markle's show on Netflix, but it's a oh sorry, some people are being very rude. Um, so I don't know if you guys have been watching the show. I had to get through that intersection, but if you have, I have. I haven't finished it. I think I have like 2 episodes left. I noticed that everybody's up in a tizzy, or I should let me correct this. I noticed that racists are up in a tizzy because Meghan Markle has this show, and they keep saying it's unrelatable, and there's just all of this. There's all of this subtle racism. Not that I'm surprised. I'm a black woman. I'm never surprised at white reaction to black women doing. I know people are like, well, Meghan Markle's not black, but her mom is black. She's black to me. You know, you debate amongst yourselves how you feel about it, but she's a black woman to me, and that's pretty much why she's gotten so much backlash from the uh, the white supremacy around the world because she married into the royal family, and they probably wouldn't say the negative things about her if she wasn't black. But yeah, so she has a new Netflix show, and it's mostly just her hanging out with her friends or acquaintances or chefs. And she shows like a craft, like she does flower arranging, which I think is really nice because I do like flowers. And she makes she'll make a meal with people. She's basically just, I think she's just being herself, because I know she had like a lifestyle brand even before she got married, and it's just her thing. She likes to cook food for people and give people nice things, and it's very cute actually. I enjoy watching it. It's a light watch. It's something that you can have playing when you're working or whatever, and it's calming. And with the chaos of the world today, I truly do appreciate this mental break that she's giving us from all of the world right now. Like, I really do like watching the show because it's just like all of the chaos and all the world is going on, and then there's this cute little show where it's like, oh, that's nice, and like it makes you want to like try whatever she's doing, making tea or whatever it is. It's very cute. And I mean, a lot of the stuff that she does I actually do, like a lot of the food that she's been making, especially the pastas. I do similar things, so it's been like I've liked watching it. I've enjoyed watching it. But to see all of the races just get up in arms, and it's not like I said, I'm never surprised when white racist people get upset about something that black people are doing, or black women especially. It's never a shock. But it just, their reaction reminded me of something that I've noticed in my lifetime, that there's a lot of people who believe that all black people are poor in this country, all black people don't have access to nice things. Like, they have this stereotype in their head. And I know it's just deeply rooted in racism, and the belief that somehow they're superior to us. So they have this belief that everything that we have is less than what they have. And when they're confronted with the reality that that's not true, they have this visceral reaction, this very negative reaction to it. And I've experienced this in my life, like like for real. But it's just like the pots and pans that she used. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but it's like Le Creuset. She has those pots, her cookware. It's really nice cookware, but it's very popular in black families. Like, a lot of black people have that cookware. I don't have it, but a lot of black people, I've seen it in a lot of people's houses. And so for her to have this cookware, and they're like, how could she have this cookware? It's like, why wouldn't she have this cookware? It's the same thing with Simone Biles when she bought herself a Birkin bag, and they were all upset about her Birkin bag. And it's like, why shouldn't she can afford it? Why shouldn't she have it? But it kind of reminded me. So when I was growing up, my dad, my dad passed away in 2004, just so you know. So he's not alive anymore. But when I was like a young teenager, my dad he bought a yacht. My dad had a yacht, yeah. and he belonged to a yacht club. It's a black yacht club. It's still in existence today. And my dad's yacht was the small yacht. It had one bedroom. It had a kitchen, or it had all of the little, had a living room, kitchen, whatever. It was a little yacht compared to the other men in the yacht club. They had huge, like 3-bedroom yachts, like they just massive yachts. Um, but yeah, it was something that my dad had when I was young. And one of the things that the yacht club would do on occasion is they would take all of their yachts, like a bunch of them. So you think about it, it's like, like 20 black men, well, 20 yachts with all owned by black people, and they would go to Annapolis Harbor in Maryland. And just think about this. This is like, I want to say early 90s, something like that, late 80s, early 90s. They would take all of their boats, and they would go to Annapolis Harbor in Annapolis, Maryland. And I remember this because it's one of the memories of my dad that always makes me smile. And we would go into the harbor, and of course, you can't outdo black people. Like, you can't. You know that we can't do anything without doing it the way we do it. So of course, all of these boats have these like amazing sound systems on them because us. And they're blasting all this music. So they're blasting music. So we go in, we're lined up. It's 20 yachts. We're lined up. We're going into the harbor. I don't know if you guys know anything about Annapolis Harbor, but the way that it's set up is like when you go into it, it's pretty close to where people can see, like they were walking, like pedestrian traffic can see, like where the parade boats. And so I just remember, like my dad, like we would see. When I tell you white people had their mouths agape, like they had their mouths open, like they could not believe that black people own yachts, because they literally would stop and stare at us. It was a spectacle to them to see all of these wealthy black people with these amazing yachts in the harbor, and not one, not two, but like a whole line of them. And I know that the yacht club would do this on purpose, because it's just something that we just have to, we got to be us and do this on purpose. But I know it was a thing that we would do, or the yacht club would do, just to annoy white people. Like, I just know it was. And I remember this one white man, like in my memory, he saw these boats, and he, not only was his mouth open, he turned bright red. And you could tell it was anger at the idea that all of these black people owned boats he could not afford. And I remember, and my dad looked at me and he's like, they can't believe all these black people have yachts. They can't believe it. He's like, they can't believe it. And it, like I said, it always brings a smile to my face. That's one of the memories I treasure, because I know black people have money. I know that all black people are not poor in this country. I know that I'm a third generation college graduate. Like, there are white people who still haven't gone to college, have families that never gone to college. I'm a third generation. I'm not new. I know these things, you know, but a lot of people don't know this. A lot of white people think all black people are poor. And so when they are confronted, like I said, this Meghan Markle show is confronting them with the idea that they are not superior to black people or to people of color, whatever you want to call it. It's the confrontation of the belief that somehow I'm not superior because this person who I think I'm superior to is doing better than me. And that is why they hate it so much, because it's always met with this very angry reaction. Like I said, I've seen it myself, and not just with that story with my dad's yacht club. I've seen it in my lifetime many times, because I've had experiences and I've done things that a lot of people have not done. And the idea that me as a black woman having these experiences, or being in in the spaces that I've been in, it's hard for them. Like, it's hard for them to, even when my daughter, her first school was a private kindergarten or private preschool, and a woman who we had been in the same toddler music classes with, she just couldn't believe that my daughter and her daughter were going to the same preschool. Like, she just kept questioning it. It's always this question, like, well, how are you here? They always want to question. I never, first of all, Black people, please stop letting white folks question you. They don't have any authority. Like, that's one of the things I always look at them like, you have no authority here, which is more, it makes them upset more than, trying to, appease them by answering their questions. Don't answer their questions. They don't have any authority. But yeah, I remember how, like, she just had a really hard time with the idea that somehow, and it was weird to me because I'm like, we live in the same neighborhood. We go to the same toddler class. Why wouldn't my daughter go to the same school as your daughter? Make it make sense. But it's still there. It's still this is why racism is so insidious, because there's this general belief that somehow white people are superior in some way. And so therefore, when you see Black people in spaces that you think are deemed for white people, you get, like, they get upset. They have a very hard time with that. And I'm really happy that Meghan Markle did this show. I'm really happy that so many people are watching it. But it's just funny to me to just watch how they're like, oh, it's not relatable. It is relatable. It's relatable to a lot of people. How is it not relatable? And like I said, people who like to cook, like people like me who like to cook, who like to entertain, who like to have, I like nice stuff. Like, I would love to be, wealthier than I am. I would love that. That would be great. I would love that. But it's like exposure, and then I love how she puts the spin on it, because she always comes up with a way to save money. Whatever she's showing you how to do, she has a money saving way, which shows that she comes from a middle class background and she knows how to do stuff on a budget. And I think that's brilliant. Okay, y'all, I'm looking for a parking space at my gym because I'm going to yoga, and there are no parking spaces. But yeah, she makes it, to me, that's even more relatable, that she's trying to make it budget friendly, because not everybody can just spend a whole bunch of money on stuff. So yeah, I think it's a brilliant show. I like it. And so yeah, that's my 2 cents. But yeah, I think it's funny how they have such a hard time. And it tickles me every time. There are no spaces, y'all. I'm so upset right now. They're so upset. Like, how dare you live a better life than me? Which reminds me of how, like, oh, look, somebody came out right in front. Perfect. It reminds me of how they always want to say that Black people are on welfare, when the majority of people on welfare are not Black or on food stamps or anything like that. They love that stereotype, when that stereotype has never been true. It's never been true. And so that's why right now these folks are going to go through it. Anyway, okay, I found a space, y'all. I'm so very. All right, I can read comments now. I write your number down. No, I don't want to write your number down. Yeah, it's very relatable. I think it's the most, like, it was one of those relatable shows. I really like it. I'm enjoying it. I just wanted to share that because people are talking crazy about it, and it's like, are you sure? It's like, like I said, I like the show. I thought like, at first I was like, what's going on? When the first episode, I was confused because she had her friend who was also her makeup artist, and they seemed like they were kind of like trying to figure out what they wanted to do. So I was like, okay, what's happening? But when she made the pasta, I was like, okay. And then the cake in the first episode was what, like, I was like, okay, I'm gonna make it to the next episode. But I've enjoyed the things that she's made. I've enjoyed the things that she's, sharing. I think, like, the dinner parties and little get-togethers with her friends, I think those are very relatable, because, like, I make food for my girlfriend. Like they can come over and we eat. Like, that's a thing that I do. And I enjoy it. Like, just like she says, it's like really fun to, like, make food for people and they like it and enjoy it. Like, that it's community to me. That's like sharing and love. And like I said, especially the way things are right now with the craziness of the world, those little things, those little bits of joy are so important. We need stuff like this just to survive this madness that is happening. So as much as she wants to, or as much as they want to tear her down, love the show. I think it got renewed already for a second season, so I'm all in for the next season. And I will say, I hope she adds like home improvement projects, even though I don't think she has anything to improve in the home. But I like home improvement shows more than cooking shows, so I'm like hoping she adds that a little bit, like at least some design or something. Add some design, add some like home improvement, because I will watch. I love home improvement shows. Like I like do it yourself. So if she adds that with the food and the flower arranging, because like that was cute. I did pick up some tips from there, thinking about getting some flowers. Yeah, so yeah, great stuff. I love it. And yeah, I think that's it. I gotta go in and head to yoga. As always, thank you all for watching. Um, Make sure you comment, subscribe, all of those things. Hit that subscribe button. Let's see what else. Follow me on social media. I'm Kinda Cole on Facebook and Kinda Cole on Twitter and Kinda Cole on Blue Sky. And I'm Kai Fly Mommy on Instagram and Kai Fly Mommy on Threads. So make sure you follow me. What else? If you have something you want me to talk about, like in the morning lives, I'm not consistent. I'm trying to be more consistent. I'm sorry, but life happens, and it's really difficult to be consistent with these mornings, especially with a teenager at home. But if there's something you think I should talk about in a morning live, or even in a video in general, just like hit me up, because coming up with stuff to talk about not always easy. So I appreciate any input. And let's see. Yeah, I think that's it. So, as always, thank you for watching. And I'm going to struggle to get off of here like I do every day. But yeah, peace, guys. Thanks.